You know, getting a personality sounds hard, like trying to break into Area 51 hard. But what if I told you the whole place was being guarded by Helen Keller? It's actually surprisingly easy.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever been at a party, someone asks you, hey, what are your hobbies? And your mind just goes completely blank? You kind of start to wonder, wait, am I boring?
Because think about it, when we were kids, this was so different. Your whole personality could be like Harry Potter, knowing a bunch of frog facts, and being weirdly good at Connect 4. Bam! You were the frog kid. But now, as adults, we just kind of exist.
So what's the deal? Why does it feel so tough to have a personality when you're a grown-up? Let's get into the problem.
Well, the advice you always hear is, just be yourself. Which, honestly, that just sounds like extrovert propaganda. It doesn't really help if you're not a natural-born social butterfly.
So, of course, you go to Google for answers, and you get the same old stuff. Take a personality test, read more, join a pottery class. And look, those things are fine, but they don't really fix the main problem, which is having something interesting to actually talk about with other people.
But here's the thing. There's a trick, a secret, really, and it comes from a pretty unexpected place, the super competitive world of college admissions.
It's called the Spike Method, and the idea is actually super simple. Instead of being kind of okay at a bunch of things, you get really, really good at one specific, maybe even kind of weird thing. That's how you stand out. That's how you become memorable.
And this isn't just some theory. It's a real strategy that tons of regular students use to get into Ivy League schools. I mean, they can't just donate a new library, right? So they have to find another way to pop out from this massive sea of applicants who all have perfect grades.
And that's exactly why it has its name. The admissions officers call it a spike, because when they're looking at a chart of all these well-rounded applicants, this one deep, unique interest, it literally sticks out. You just can't ignore it.
Okay, but I know what you're thinking. My interests aren't that exciting. Fair enough. So let's put this method to the test. Let's take maybe the most boring topic ever, cleaning, and see if we can make it cool.
Now here's the magic trick. You could spend less than a month just diving into a niche topic, reading about it, watching videos, I don't know, maybe getting a pressure washer, and in that short time, you'll know more about it than 99% of people will in their entire lives.
So just picture this. Someone asks you what you do for fun. And instead of the usual, you say, I'm actually really into cleaning. And boom, see what just happened? That answer is so unexpected it creates instant curiosity. They have to ask a follow-up question. And just like that, you've hooked them. You're in a real conversation.
Or how about this one? Someone asks what you're doing this weekend. Oh, I'm probably going to fold my clothes using the world's fastest folding method. That's not just an answer, right? It's an invitation. You've just created a chance to share something cool and genuinely useful.
Okay, so let's say you've got your niche. But now you're worried, is anyone really going to care about my weirdly specific hobby? That is a totally fair question. So let's talk about how you actually share your spike.
Look, the key thing to remember is this. Your spike isn't your entire personality. You don't have to be the cleaning person all night long. It's just an opener. It's the hook that gets your foot in the door so you can have a normal, but now memorable, conversation.
And here is probably the most important part of all. When you talk about your spike, you've got to be Bill Nye, not a PhD student defending their thesis. Your goal is not to impress people with big words and jargon. It's to share something you're passionate about in a way anyone can get excited about. That's what makes people interested.
All right, so you're in. You want to find your spike? It really just comes down to 3 super simple steps.
First, just find something you're curious about. Doesn't matter how weird it is. Second, spend a little time with it, just enough so you know a bit more than the average person. And third, and this is the important one, actually use it. The next time someone asks what you're into, tell them about this.
And that's it. Really, there is no step 4. The whole point is that this is simple. It's a clear, easy path to being a more interesting, more memorable person.
So in the end, this whole method is just about taking a simple interest and making it a fun part of who you are. It works, and it's way easier than you think. So I guess the only question left is, what's your spike gonna be?